Who else wants some?
say I didn't warn you! Wonderful. And don't come back! Did I do all right? Wonderful.
Oh yeah. Ha!
Goodness. Did I do all right?
Who else wants some? Another one bites the dust.
Veronica wins again.
Easy. Another one bites.
Thank goodness.
Is it loud now? I mean, Jesus Christ. What am I doing? Oh man.
Welcome back to another video with Diving Into It. So now new news has come out about DMX and we have an update. Now DMX's lawyer of 25 years speaks out and he addresses the conditions of DMX. Now he is off of life support, which is very good news, but his lawyer is extremely concerned about DMX's condition. Now,
Actually, no, it's not. No. No, it's on Xbox. PC. You should Wikipedia that. That's a good question.
he's in the hospital as a result of a heart attack, but he did not leave.
That he'd been using drugs. Now, DMX's lawyer says that he is currently surrounded by family and he is in still what people are considering grave
You should look it
condition.
up.
Now, the attorney also
look it up.
confirmed that DMX is indeed off of life support and is still alive. I repeat, the attorney says that DMX is off of life support but still alive. Right.
He's been in the hospital. He's taken off life support system and he's breathing on his own. But we are concerned. It would be disingenuous for me to suggest that I'm not a worried fan of Earl Simmons, DMX, in my opinion, is one of the great poets of our time. And what he had to say, if people bother to listen, and they overcome their hostility to rap, they learn a great deal.
Now she put this up on the caption of the video. She says, "What are you talking about?"
PlayStation. PlayStation. You don't have a laptop. Do you have a laptop?
He came back with his blunt rolled up. And I'm counting the money, and he passes the blunt. Now, DMX is not a substance abuse. And part of that is he said, I hit the blunt, and I was no longer focused on the money. I never felt like this. It just messed me up. I later found out it was black. Why would you do that to yourself? You knew I looked up to him. Why would you do that to somebody that was substance? I wouldn't even do that to my worst enemy. Especially when you do that. I really feel like playing versus Sunday, so he was great. He wasn't speaking in the streets, but actually Sunday service. That's my story.
Another one bites the dust.
I have faith with everyone that I deal with today. Doors that were once closed are now open for me.
That's the reason why I level up like I do.
I am God's favorite child. No good thing will even hold for me. Because of God's favor, my enemies cannot triumph over me. I have supernatural increase and promotion. I declare restoration of everything the devil has stolen from me. I have honor and the gifts of my adversaries and an increase of nonsense, especially when it's
Did I do all right?
He went to his Instagram and he posted a picture of his son. Now, Rick Ross, he had the same similar condition around it. He had heart problems and he was flying. He had the same kind of thing about his state like he was. He went to his Instagram and he prayers up to DMX today. Put that in the sky. Prayers up to DMX today. Put that in the sky. Now, once one information comes out, I will definitely guys. To learn and to suffer. What? To survive and to survive. Maybe I can understand that suffer. That's what I'm going to so I ain't going to suffer, but you got to let it go away. And then look for the good within that suffering. Look for what can help you within that suffering. You know, if you just suffer. And the more motherfucker just to suffer and just suffer, so you want to come to it. Father God, I am just learning how to pray. Bear with me. First, I thank you for the life of everyone that's here with me. Then I thank you for the love you give me. I don't know. I don't deserve it. It hurts inside. Many nights I cried and called your name out loud. I didn't call you not too good, too proud. And still,
bringing offense greater than other hypocrisies in the beat with Ja Rule, 50 Cent records his response song Lights on the Line, which is intended to live on his debut album Power of the Dollar. And on that track, 50 Cent flips the lyrics from Ja Rule's Murder for Life, saying murder, I don't believe you, essentially going Ja Rule and his crew murdering, saying that they're a bunch of phonies. And from here, 50 Cent begins to appear in small-time media appearances, saying that he's the guy coming to Ja Rule. 50 Cent, nigga, that's the nigga that they say Ja Rule. publicly acknowledged 50, but for no more than simply being on his dick and fishing for clout.
What's up with this 50 Cent shit? Alright, it's simple and plain. You know, the nigga, you know, he's on my dick and shit. And then, you know, you got the clowns that come out and want to fucking say something about you to try to boost their shit or whatever.
But from here, 50 Cent doubles down on the disrespect and begins to clap back in interviews, reiterating that Ja Rule was a fraud and can't put down 50's true credentials. Now, with all of this talk in the streets, eventually this tension comes to a head. And when 50 and Ja Rule are both booked to play the same venue in Atlanta, they end up running into each other and having a confrontation at a hotel. The story goes, this was a tense verbal back and forth, with Ja telling 50 he was pissed about that diss song. But apparently during this confrontation, Ja Rule was holding a pop baseball bat that he apparently tried out on stage. At a certain point, 50 Cent didn't like how aggressive Ja Rule was getting with that bat in his hands, and before he could use it, 50 Cent decided to be proactive, sucker punching Ja Rule in his stupid face. A scuffle breaks out between their respective crews, and everybody immediately scatters.
I see him in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know, around my neck or whatever. I'm holding the back. I got mad and I start screaming at him and telling him that, you know, he was a bitch and this, that, and the third. And so he swings at me. So now we start tussling.
Now, here's where the stories diverge. If you listen to Ja Rule, 50 Cent started clout chasing after this fight, telling everybody that he snatched Ja's chain.
I knocked him out, took his chain.
Ja denies this. Meanwhile, other people say Ja and 50 both dropped chains during the scuffle, with suggestions that 50's crew had indeed picked up Ja's chain. But regardless of the mythical stolen chain, it wouldn't take too long before these two titans of toxicity ran into each other again. Next up, in March 2000, when Ja Rule and his Murder Inc. crew got word that 50 Cent was recording at the Hit Factory Studios in New York. Upon getting word of 50's location, apparently Ja and the Murder Inc. crew rushed into 50's studio session, at which point 50 Cent ends up getting stabbed by Murder Inc. affiliate Lifestyle, something which he later downplays.
It's like 5 of us and 5 of them, the niggas is getting on and fighting and but some way, somehow, the lights got hit off, but I felt the gap was in the air and the niggas was reaching for it. You know what I mean? And I wasn't letting nobody get to their gun to pop me. You know what I mean? So I started poking niggas straight up and down.
Then I didn't go to the hospital. The shots I had only 2 decisions. I didn't go there. I went home.
The thing is, 50 Cent wasn't the only person to get stabbed in this incident. Apparently, other, less gangster, more professional individuals were in the studio working on music on G-Net and ended up getting injured. And one of the non-G-Net non-Gs ended up filing a police report, telling the feds what went down, leading to Blackstar being arrested for stabbings. As a result, the NYPD placed an order of protection on anybody that was involved in the incident, forcing Murder Inc. to stay away from anybody named, including 50 Cent. Now, this document would later become an integral part of the Ja Rule versus 50 beef, as Ja Rule and others would endlessly trot out this document as supposed proof that 50 Cent had snitched against them. But regardless of the issues with Ja Rule and Murder Inc., things would soon get more and more dangerous as 50 Cent keeps being screams. You see, at this point, 50 Cent was beginning to build up a buzz in his field musically, and recently dropped the track How to Rob with the Man Rapper in mid-1999. This tongue-in-cheek street track basically saw 50 Cent jokingly naming numerous rappers in the industry by name and saying that he was going to rob them. This included Puff Daddy. 50 Cent said he was going to kidnap him and hold out for ransom. He threatened to stick up Slick Rick with a blick. He mocked ODB for the Wu-Tang Clan for being so broke he wouldn't even be worth robbing. Master P, Will Smith, and Timbaland all got tied in a 3-for-1 stick-up sale. DMX was getting all the smoke, not crack smoke for once. Ray, Ghost, and RZA from Wu-Tang got their rings snatched. Cannabis got smoked literally and metaphorically. And even Juvenile got robbed of his cash money piece and gold key because Foxy's out here moving like the street. Well, naturally, this in the entire rap game saying that you're going to rob them ended up getting 50 Cent a decent amount of crap. And the story goes, not long after this song, behind the scenes, some people in the industry began to get upset. The most notable response to 50 was from Jay-Z. And 50 said on How to Rob that he would put 4 bullets in Jay-Z's bedroom door. Jay-Z jumped on wax 2 months later with the iconic line from the song It's Hot, saying, "Go against Jigga, your ass is dense. I'm about $1. What the fuck is 50 Cent?" By the year 2000, 50 Cent clearly had a taste for gaining clout by airing out people's dirty laundry. And after How to Rob, he decided to truly die trying to get rich, dropping a new song, this time naming a bunch of gangsters that he knows from the streets of New York by name. Specifically, our old chum Kenneth Supreme McGriff, that same chap who had got Ja Rule's chain back right at the start of this story. So, in early 2000, 50 Cent's song Ghetto Quran begins to circulate in the streets of New York, at which point the streets begin to turn on 50. In fact, Ja Rule later said in his autobiography Unruly that this was the moment that word got out that 50 was apparently a snitch, and from this point on he was in danger in these streets. Ja Rule also said that it was around this time that Secrets actively took steps to blacklist 50 Cent from the music industry. And eventually, a hitter was dispatched, allegedly by the Supreme Team, to try and blacklist 50 Cent online. And on May 24, 2000, 50 Cent is famously shot 9 times outside of his grandmother's house, but miraculously survived. Fortunately, 50 Cent didn't die, but he was seriously injured and out of action for a long period of time. Laid up in a hospital bed, barely alive, and blacklisted from the rap game. 50 would be out of action for some time with nothing to do but stew in a rage and get hungrier and hungrier for revenge on those who wronged him. But meanwhile, while 50 Cent is a rock bottom, with his biggest hit out of the picture, Ja Rule is on fire and goes on the chart run of a lifetime. He dropped his second album in October 2000, Rule 336. The album has a radio-friendly mainstream angle and is a runaway success for Ja Rule, landing at #1 and selling 276,000 copies in the first week of release. And the project had numerous hit singles, including Put It On Me that went #8 on the charts and landed a Grammy nomination for Best Rap Performance by a duo or group. Also in 2000, Murder Inc. dropped the Murderers album. On the track When Shit Gets Ugly, Ja Rule dissed 50 Cent calling him loose change, bars which Ja Rule also echoed on his 99 Rap Victory song.
Loose change up, head in the whip, puppy from your chick,
Then in the year 2001, while 50 Cent is still lying low recovering and recording, Ja Rule drops his third album, Pain Is Love. This album was also a huge success, landing at #1 on Billboard and bagging international Best Rap Album, as well as scoring 2 #1 singles, the murder version of I'm Real with J-Lo and Always on Time with Ashanti. By the time we get to the year 2002, Ja Rule was everywhere, and 50 Cent was no longer in the shadows. 50 Cent was low, sharpening his pen and his sword, and getting ready to strike, taking down Ja Rule in one of the biggest reversals of fortune the rap game has ever seen.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
Shout out Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Who's ready to join the Skillshare? You there? Yeah, I love Skillshare. Get Skillshare now, babies. Listen. Skillshare are the kings of online learning. Their community is top notch and I can confirm it. They've got thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people to deepen existing passions, get lost in creativity, now that's what's cracking. If your life is uncertain and you don't know what's happening, just try out Skillshare and their creative challenges and productivity classes help you structure your time, set up achievable goals that you hit just fine. And with that in mind, I took a dope new class from Guy Coward that we learned business facts fast. Turn an idea to a high growth biz, cause I wanna make a million like Dixon's did. But it's not just business facts, no, get it correct, cause by the end you'll have a 10-slide pitch deck. Do it to make big moves or do it just for fun. Fight before them, get creative, get off your bum. Keep on learning, treat yourself a creative way, and join the community, drop it now. Easy to focus with a new skill that you fancy. And the first 1,000 people click the link, get a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership. And after that, it's less than $10 a month annually. So click the link in the description and join the team. Hit that link in the description and join the Skillshare. You can learn a new skill, enhance your creativity, and you'll be helping support my channel. Thanks so much for Skillshare. Go show them love. They're really one of the dopest sponsors in games. I just couldn't do what I do without Skillshare. Shout out them. Hit that link in the description. I love Skillshare. Appreciate everyone. After getting blacklisted from the rap game, 50 Cent literally could not find a studio to record it. In fact, 50 Cent had been blacklisted by the rap game so hard that he had to go all the way to Canada just to get studio time, where he recorded dozens of songs and planned his comeback. 50's first comeback song after getting shot is the understandably titled track, Fuck You. This appeared on his Guess Who's Back mixtape, made up of both old and new songs which 50 distributed himself. Clearly 50 wasn't worried about his ops on this track, as he directly discusses the shooting and even speculates who was responsible for the raid. Meanwhile, on other tracks on the project, 50 Cent directly confronts Ja Rule and the crew who sat him in the studio, saying he'll get them eventually and they should have killed him. Thing is, as far as Ja Rule and Supreme were concerned, 50 was done. But 50's comeback release didn't immediately make a huge splash, and certainly didn't give Ja Rule any cause for concern initially. However, the one thing that Ja Rule wasn't banking on was somebody else in the industry finding 50 Cent's tape and liking it. And what do you know, in 2002, 50 Cent's lawyer sent a copy of Guess Who's Back to Eminem's manager, Paul Rosenberg. Apparently blown away by 50 Cent's work, M immediately flies him out to LA to work with him and Dr. Dre. And well, the rest reverse his history, as they say, because soon after this trip, 50 Cent is signed to Eminem and Dr. Dre in a $1 million deal that brought him into the Interscope Shady Records team. And from here, 50 Cent would get heavily mentored by both Dr. Dre and Eminem, taking his sound to the next level and helping him master the masterpiece of the debut album. Now, apparently, as part of this mentorship, Eminem and Dr. Dre sat 50 Cent down for a man-to-man talk, saying that he should stay focused and avoid beating Ja Rule. Something M revealed years later on the track Right Toy Soldiers. And to be fair, things seemed all good initially. Fans enjoyed 50 Cent's latest 50 Cent is the Future mixtape that released in June, and then in August, fresh off the Shady Records deal, 50 Cent drops his follow-up mixtape No Mercy, No Fear. And this project features 50's breakout track Wankster, the now legendary 50 Cent song all about fake gangsters who say they're about that life that never popped. No, the track itself doesn't mention Ja Rule by name, but ever since its release, it's been pretty widely considered as a subliminal diss track aimed squarely at Ja Rule's head. 50 Cent's never outright admitted this, 50 saying the song is about fake gangsters, but since other people have said Ja Rule fits the bill, Ja Rule is indeed a wankster. And let's be real, right? Once 50 Cent put together a music video for this track, the opening scene features a kid opening up a wankster doll who is literally wearing the exact same black outfit and long chain guitar pendant as Ja Rule wore in this Rap 53 song. So naturally, Wankster and Ja Rule, big old man. So in October of 2002, Murder Inc. ended up covering the Source magazine. Ja Rule and his team sending warning shots to Dr. Dre and Eminem, basically saying they can both get it and Ja's going to take down their company if 50 Cent starts dissing him. But if that wasn't enough, Ja Rule and Irv Gotti went on Hot 97 to continue their onslaught, exposing 50 Cent to the world in what must be True Crime's very first gangland-style restraining order reveal, telling everyone that 50 Cent got stabbed at the Hit Factory and that an order of protection was filed afterwards, speaking it as if 50 Cent was a full-blown snitch who had specifically applied for a restraining order against Ja Rule and Irv Gotti.
I'm not worried about the gangsters. Posing to be gangs. Informant, tension, drama, whatever. Just tell me business. I mean, and what I'm holding in my hand. Stay away from Curtis Jackson. That's 50, y'all. AKA 50. AKA 50. AKA Informant. AKA I'm telling you. I never went to jail. First time I ever went to jail was because we whipped his ass and he went and felt the need to inform the cop.
But it wasn't just about the restraining order. Ja went further in airing out the dirty laundry, openly discussing and laughing about 50 Cent getting stabbed at the Hit Factory.
That little incident we had at the Hit Factory, he tells you about it. A little stab on the butter knife. Yeah. It was a little altercation. It wasn't nothing crazy. It was nothing big. It was just a little scuffle. It was nothing big. Yes, sir. But he felt the need, to go to the cops and press charges. Press charges. Look, the opponent is further informed by Mr. Jackson that as a result of the both described conduct, informant suffered lacerations. Informant, y'all. Informant. Thank you, man.
Now, all this coordinated hatred apparently caused 50 Cent to go straight loco and diss Ja Rule hard on wax, which apparently Eminem and Dr. Dre were okay with at this point. As we later learned from the lyrics on Eminem's Like Toy Soldiers, it was all the public talk about stabbing 50 Cent that went over the line. In fact, Eminem's support went far beyond just letting 50 Cent diss Ja Rule. M actually poured gas on the fire by placing numerous 50 Cent tracks, including Wankster, onto the hugely successful soundtrack album of his movie. That high-budget Wankster music video.
What's up, this is 50 Cent. It's behind the scenes right here. We're doing a video shoot for Wankster. It's off the 8-9 soundtrack. It's crazy. Eminem, Dr. Dre, Shady Aftermath, Rap Juggernauts, you heard me? Yeah. See, I know I'm starting to get big now when you got behind the scenes at your video shoot. But my last video shoot was nobody there but me.
So, 50 Cent is still making moves in these scripts. The following month, 50 dropped his God's Plan mixtape, which featured the track Catch Me in the Hood, echoing those same sentiments of Wankster. Not mentioning Ja Rule by name, but going at unnamed off, on the basis they're not a real gangster, but 50 is. That project was followed up in January 2003 with Jimmy Nick's Automatic Gunfire mixtape. That project had numerous diss tracks and skits going at Ja Rule.
If you like the Ja Rule Duets album, you'll flip when you hear his new album, Ja Rule Duets 2. I can dance you, baby. And if you order now, you'll get this special bonus track. Put it on, man, without you with myself.
Ja Rule is so hot right now, everybody wants to record with him, or at least
you record with them. On Duet 3, you'll get this. Whatever, whatever. What you say to all my people, we be living it up. Hey.
But of course, the biggest put down on Ja Rule and Murder Inc. crew was the track I Smell. Thus, calling out every member of Murder Inc. for smelling like a fishmongers at closing time one by one. Also on that mixtape was the track Bang Bang, accusing Ja Rule of coming out with the whole Order of Protection reveal purely to plug his own album release. And then, of course, there was the track 8 More Miles, where 50 imagines just how mad Ja must be at the fact that
Veronica wins again.
At this point, 50 had firmly put the boot into Ja Rule, but at this point, he was also still an underground artist just stumbling up to the rap game. Thing is, little did Ja Rule know that around the corner was a perfect store. A once-in-a-lifetime chain of events that would see 50 Cent catapulted to the top of the rap game, and Ja Rule consigned to the scratches, unable to even release music or respond to 50's discs. In fact, I would wager that everything went downhill from the very moment that Ja Rule heard those words, "Go Shard."
You know, the Wankster record, it was a snazzy tone, but you know, it was not really so heavy making this big. Look, people start mumbling to me, yo, he's with DRE. So he said, alright, let's listen. Let's listen to it. Don't want to go God with fucking dread. So I'm like, the beat is fucking nuts. He may have one, but let's see if he connected the dots lyrically. He may have not connected the dots lyrically. You find me? I'm like, this is it. I turned the rule and everyone in the office, and I said, yo, buckle up. We have a major problem.
Yes, in January 2003, Ja Rule, Gotti, and the entire Murder Inc. crew were lining up to fly the largest L in rap game history. Not only was 50 Cent in the club the hottest rap song to ever come out, landing at #1 on Billboard and grabbing 2 Grammy nominations, but also in January 2003, the feds raided the Murder Inc. offices in an attempt to connect them to our old gangster buddy from New York, Kenneth Supreme McGriff, who had also been arrested while on run not long before this, with the feds connecting genuine gangster Supreme McGriff with fake gangsters Murder Inc., trying to pin this record label as a real credible organisation. I mean, perhaps these are the kind of problems you should have expected when you named your record label Murder Incorporated. Anyway, the Murder Inc. trial is a whole other kettle of fish. If you do want me to do an entire story on the rise and fall of Murder Inc., head on over to my Discord, link in description, and drop me a message in the story suggestion tab so that I know that's something you actually want to see. But anyway, the feds seized all of Murder Inc.'s assets and held on to them for a few years whilst Ja and Irv waited to go to trial. With all of this going on at the same time, this meant the rise of 50 Cent to the top of the rap game was double devastating for Ja Rule, because a federal case with his court in the Murder Inc. label pretty much prevented Ja Rule from being able to properly talk his shit in music in response to 50 Cent, who was rising up the charts and continually talking shit about Ja and Inc. So instead of responding with music, in February of 2003, Ja Rule gets the cover of the Source magazine and he trots out those same high points against 50 Cent, calling him a snitch and dragging the old Order of Protection out again. I mean, the headline of this cover story was quite literally, does 50 Cent need protection from Ja Rule? Little did Ja Rule know that he was about to get fucked by 50 Cent sans protection, as within days of this interview coming out, Bofty's Get Rich or Die Trying drops becoming one of the biggest rap debuts in history. And to make matters worse, this album had the devastating Ja Rule diss track Back Down, which was of course produced by Dr. Dre, once again calling out Ja Rule for being a fake gangster, starting his second verse with a hilarious impression of Ja Rule's in a monologue, and ending the song with somebody doing an impression of Ja Rule's stylist. A reference to a made-up rumour that Ja Rule had a homosexual affair with his stylist. A rumour apparently made up by those calling CGMX. But if all of that wasn't bad enough, 50 Cent also threw 2 of his old Ja Rule disses on Get Rich or Die Trying as bonus tracks, the songs Lights on the Line and You Not Like Me. And remember, this album was literally the best-selling album in America for 2003, losing 6.5 million copies. That's 6.5 motherfuckers out here bumping 50 Cent's music and saying, fuck Ja Rule, not a good look, but perhaps at the time, Ja Rule didn't really realise what was actually happening. Because at this time, 50 was swinging his enormous influence in a big way, and the fuck Ja Rule movement was genuinely picking up big steam amongst fans. Meanwhile, Ja Rule couldn't really directly responsible for these gaps because of the ongoing investigation into his label. At this point, 50 Cent had basically become what Ja Rule was the year before, when he was getting back-to-back #1. Hell, 50 was bigger at this point, and so, unable to record new music, Ja Rule ended up making another sideways dig at 50 anyway, going on to drop a music video for the track Murder Challenge, a song from his Love Temptation album that had already released the previous year, and this music video seemingly depicted somebody pulling up in a Range Rover at a police station, going in and completely snitching on Murder escalating to the feds, with the implication being that this guy in the video was 50 Cent. Thing is though, while Ja Rule was desperate trying to find any way that he could diss 50 Cent without actually making any music, the Shady Records team were making project after project laced with Ja Rule put-downs. Only a few weeks after Get Rich or Die Trying drops, executive produced by Eminem, full of Ja Rule disses, Eminem also ends up exec producing the soundtrack for the movie Cradle to the Grave, starring none other than Ja Rule's main op at the time and crack connoisseur DMX. So in the name of shared ops, Eminem decides to jump on the track Go to Sleep with DMX, running a metaphorical train on Ja Rule, with M saying outright "Just get it," and the whole chorus basically just being Eminem and DMX going back and forth saying they want to put a bullet in Ja's head. So now Eminem is officially in play in this beat, and I tell you what, you do not want to get in a beef with Eminem. In March 2003, 50 isn't done wailing on Ja Rule just yet. At the end of the month, he dropped the mixtape Monkey Day 2, featuring a track called The Realest Killers. This song eventually ended up on the soundtrack to the Tupac film Tupac Resurrections, and it also featured a posthumous verse from Tupac, as well as an intro from 50 Cent about someone, Ja Rule, being a fake Tupac. And a full-length 50 Cent verse where he seems to go at Ja Rule for pretending to be Tupac, suggesting he did this to get hot, but now he's not. I mean, this was a particularly scathing type of diss because it's a Tupac song remix, and after all, Ja Rule's entire career has been dogged by these Tupac comparisons. But this wouldn't be the last time that Eminem and 50 Cent would use the Tupac connection to hurt Ja Rule's feelings. In April, Ja Rule finally jumps on a song responding to Eminem, with a freestyle on 50 Cent's Stabber Black Tyler's mixtape, once again dissing 50 for being a snitch, and saying he's going to get busy with a shotty on Blondie, aka Eminem. Was just a taste of things to come, however, and a few days later, Ja Rule goes on to release the devastating full-length diss track, Loose Change, an obvious reference to 50 Cent. In the track, he imagines 50 being dead and proving snitch once again, but the track went far beyond just dissing 50. Ja Rule dissed the entire label, Shady Records, Interscope. Hell, he even went at label boss Jimmy ID saying that he gets beat on, no free beats for Ja. He also accused Dr. Dre of being gay and a cross-dresser along with Eminem, and M was the one who Ja had the most smoke for on this song, accusing M of wanting to be black before dropping the beat and ending the song with the most devastating diss line that you could possibly say to Eminem.
So what's Ellie gonna be when she grows up?
Yes, basically, he said that his daughter was gonna grow up to be a hoe. Don't do that, Ja. Oh, Ja. Naturally, Eminem was not going to let this slide, and he later said in his verse on White Toy Soldiers that this was the moment in the beat that he completely lost it. And a couple of weeks later, we got a big response, as DJ Green Lantern drops the Invasion Part 2 mixtape, which features Eminem, D12, G-Unit, and other Interscope Records artists, all dissing Ja Rule. They had skits with Eminem mocking Ja.
Keep it locked in right here. Coming up next, we got the new Last of Temptation by Ja Rule's Nothing Anymore.
This was followed by a rare Eminem and G-Unit link-up with Ja Rule diss-a-thon Bump Heads, where Eminem mocked Ja for a long laundry list of things, including, but not limited to, taking ecstasy, thinking he's DMX, thinking he's Tupac, thinking he's Martin Luther King, singing the same songs over and over again, and then when they were both having their jets refueled at the same time. An incident which Ja actually elaborated on many years.
Man, respectful conversation. Like, I know what it is now. And then it's like, you know, I don't really got no confidence for it. That home team, and it's a rap beat, and I was like, hey, what's time my way, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I know what it is, you know what I'm saying? I said, I ain't got nothing.
Easy.
Well, according to Eminem, Ja Rule was the one being more frustrated that day. In fact, M aimed for verse with the coffin nail over the line, saying that day we met at the airport, Ja Rule just slapped my hand, smiled, and told me 50 Cent was everything he wanted to be. Now, I know that's enough to make Ja Rule want to jump off the roof of the nearest gyro spot to a physique so grave, but the Shady Records execution squad were not done there. No, they were just warming up, because the next track on the mixtape is the devastating Loose Change response song, Hail Mary. Another reworking of a classic Tupac song just to add a little more salt to Ja Rule's wounds. In fact, before a single lyric had even been dropped in this song, Eminem had handed Ja Rule another Tupac shakedown when he decided to prevent Ja Rule from participating in any of the songs on the new posthumous Tupac album, Loyal to the Game, which Eminem had been given permission to executive produce by Tupac's family. So doubling the disrespect on M's version of Hail Mary, he uses Tupac's cadence and flow to dish Ja Rule in the worst possible away, saying in the hook, "If not still here now, he would never ride with ya. Na 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 na." He said that Ja Rule's been stealing Tupac quotes for years, hoping no one will notice. He got numerous references to Ja Rule being hooked on pills, which is a lot of rich coming from Eminem these days, but whatever. Next verse, 50 Cent taps into the Royal Rumble and goes hard on Ja, saying that Ja can take on shots like he did, and ask him when's your list to of course. But of course they weren't up there. No. Because Hail Mary was followed up by another Ja Rule diss, Do Re Mi, aka Hailey's Revenge with Eminem and D12. A track which literally opens with a skit where Eminem's daughter Hailey says that she doesn't want to end up like Ja Rule's dirty ass kids. Eminem even asks his daughter to go and fetch his Oscar so that he can shove it up Ja Rule's ass. And then D12 right out hard to Ja Rule in the verse. With M jumping on the hook saying, "Ja, quit playing, knock it off, you're not too packed. Don't take me because I'm hot and you're not. Shooting at me with the only shot you've got." As the cap it off, Hailey jumps back onto the track on the outro to ask Eminem, Ja Rule is calling her, but continue to fight. "Nah, honey, you're the same part." Woo, that's savage. After that, the next tape is littered with more Ja Rule bitches. How G and even Tony Gayo thrown in from jail just to say fuck Ja Rule.
We just jacked the nigga with the motherfucking phone down, and I'm about to drop some shit to Ja Rule, pussy ass.
All of this was frankly devastating to Ja Rule's murderer, who was still going through the ringer with their ongoing case. At this point, 50 Cent and Eminem were the hottest thing in the game. Their army of fans all over the planet were screaming fuck Ja Rule in unison. In an attempt to respond to this, Ja Rule and Earth Body ended up bagging a XXL cover story where they were pictured in the crosshairs and named as two of America's most wanted. Being an extended interview, in their words, to fire back all my filtering haters. Earth said that he thinks the fans want the beef to turn violent, going on to suggest that 50 Cent or Eminem could end up being killed as part of this beef. Ja Rule says he doesn't choose 50 Cent to be started, eventually going on to say that he's going to wear out 50 Cent, Eminem, or Dr. Dre's ass if he ever catches up with him. Now, I don't know what you mean by that, but it would turn out that offering to wear out his ass for a legend like Dr. Dre was not such a good idea either, because a few months later, the Shady Records hit Shit Hits the Fan drop, featuring a verse from Dr. Dre where he, I don't really describe it as where's Ja Rule's ass. Dre directly responds to Ja's threat of slapping him, saying that Ja's got a jump team and had a shot at slapping Dre's kneecap. Dre goes on to say that he laughed at the threats in magazines, he's right for it, and then finally comes through with the coffin nailer on the line. "You're not Tupac, I knew him, Pac was a real Nigel, you're just a fucking insult to him. My lord, that's savage." Now, in response to the onslaught of hate that he was getting from the other side, Ja Rule finally got round to dropping a few diss songs. First, a little Guess Who Shot Ya, the track mainly mocking 50 Cent for getting shot a bunch of times and not knowing who did it, and insinuating that Murder Inc. had something to do with that shooting, suggesting the 50 snitch. Ironically, we're literally snitching on himself in the same breath, isn't it, anyway? Ja also makes fun of 50's mom, who was a drug dealer and killed when he was a kid. Another Ja Rule diss track circulated around this time under the title of So Hot, where Ja dissed 50 for more of the same old things. Now, it's not entirely clear when these disses dropped, but really they were all distant at the time. For Ja's new, bigger, much more polished response single, Clap Back, which was frankly one of the most successful records that he had put out in a while. Landing at 44 on Billboard and on the scene London with 50 Cent and Eminem disses. Ja says he's going to find Eminem lets it on and bomb him. He says he's going to let guns blast on 50 Cent for snitching, yet bizarrely, after dropping a mainstream and quite successful diss song, Ja seems to do a complete 180, appearing in a bizarre 30-minute interview with Louis Farrakhan from the Nation of Islam, apparently calling for peace with 50.
Will this meeting of a 27-year-old rapper and a 70-year-old charismatic religious leader end this beef?
But if you look closely, you can tell Ja's heart wasn't really in it.
Tell me, how did this beef get started with you and Brother 50?
I really think it started from a lot of jealousy, a lot of hatred towards me.
Allegedly, 50 was invited to this sit-down but turned it down because he wasn't buying Ja Rule's later telling MTV that he thought the entire thing was simply a publicity stunt to try and promote his album. And sure enough, straight after that interview, Ja Rule's album dropped. Blow My Eye was considered by many as a sort of hate album because the entire thing was pretty much just littered with 50 Cent and Shady Records disses. This included the track Things Don't Change, where Ja went 50 and Dr. Dre even had smoke for proof out of D12. You need proof out of this! But regardless of Ja Rule just whining out all over the Shady Records boys on his Blood in My Eye album, this album ultimately flopped to Ja Rule's own standards. It only managed to hit number 6 on Billboard, moving 139,000 copies first week, which I know is pretty good for 2021 standards. But hell, even back then, the G-Unit Crew album Beg for Mercy debuted better at number 3 on Billboard and selling 377,000 units first week. That's not a Biggie album, that's the G-Unit album. In my opinion, it's really here where Ja fucked up the most. Because him alone, Ja Rule is the one who let his album and ultimately his entire career be defined by this beef with 50 Cent. And as a result, his failure in this beef would be intrinsically linked to a complete failure of his entire career from this point onward. Furthermore, Ja Rule had kind of abandoned the original fans that took him to the top by dropping his clean top mainstream image so that he could drop the street album Blood in My Eye that was just full of hate and disses, alienated that mainstream top audience who had initially bought his earlier albums in droves. And at this point, Ja Rule was completely alienated from any of the real rap fans who were riding with 50 Cent and G-Unit at the time. You simply couldn't be a fan of 50 Cent and also like Ja Rule, and Ja Rule was partly responsible for that. So, the coffin of Ja Rule's career was firmly nailed up. And here and now, you can truly see the force of Ja Rule. Ja Rule had made the biggest mistake he possibly could with Blow My Eye. He allowed the 50 Cent beef to completely define his entire musical output. 50 Cent was living in Ja's head and on Ja's music rent-free. Meanwhile, 50 Cent was being interviewed by MTV saying that he's moving on and the beef is over. Very wisely pointing out that the G-Unit Beg for Mercy album had no mention of Ja Rule, which is a very good point. So despite that sentiment, however, in the months that followed, more mixtape tracks and leaks would emerge that saw the Shady Records crew continuing to kick Ja Rule while he was down. 50 Cent did a clapback remix, dissing Ja Rule and refusing to rap on that beat, mocking him for not. Numerous Eminem songs surfaced featuring Ja Rule specifically, including I'm Gone with Open Price, Monkey See, Monkey Do, and Bully, and eventually 50 Cent is interviewed in the February 2004 edition of Vine, savaging Ja Rule after being asked whether or not he thinks Ja beat to his advantage, and said straight up that it was Ja Rule who made his career by giving him so much attention in 2006 when Ja was popping and 50 was a nobody. 50 went on to say that Ja Rule sucks at business and gets all of the opportunities to get money and rap that 50 took. And 50 ends the interview by saying that Ja Rule owns nothing and that he couldn't think straight in the same street situations as 50 if Ja ain't
1,500.
2 months after this, Ja Rule ended up getting his cover on Vibe magazine with the slightly embarrassing headline, Ja Rule, is this the end? Now this article was quite dumb because it was filled with Ja Rule attempting to pump himself up as if he wasn't really going broke or becoming relevant. He posed next to his Maybach reminding everybody that Maybach cost $400,000 and he has numerous properties. Oh, and do you remember when 50 Cent said Ja Rule didn't have a business brain? Nah, because Ja Rule said he just started a clothing company. Oh, and a reading company. Yeah, apparently he did so well that Ja Rule gets blood and scripts coming through to his inbox every week. You know, he's like crystallized money, right? Oh, and he's been married to his high school sweetheart for 4 years. 50 can't say that, can he? And he sold 8 million albums. You know, different albums, not one album like 50 Cent did. But yes, according to this article, it's Ja Rule who is the fearless warrior. Who decided to take on the toughest slab that the rap game had to offer, and becoming the most hated person in the rap game in the process. He died for your sins. He's basically Jesus of beef. And the interview goes on, Ja Rule is portrayed as the renegade tough guy, the lyrical Tony Montana cooked up and running into a hail of bullets. But by the end of the article, even the writer is dropping slight digs, saying that Ja Rule should have prayed for better album sales, and Ja continues his tough guy out, spectacularly bragging about the fact that he keeps a gun in his Maybach, smartly stashed in one of the car's 2 humidors, where I'm sure the cops will never find him. Ja goes on to say that it's not getting clowned by 50 Cent that's angered him the most over the last year, but it's a fans turning on that he hates the rap. Being oblivious to the fact that it's 50 Cent's influence combined with Ja Rule's obsession of going 50 that really caused the fans to switch on. And then, in the very same breath, Ja Rule gives the haters even more fuel to dislike him by comparing himself to Tupac and saying that after this beef, all eyes are on him. Ja then goes on to say, one of the dumbest things I've ever heard an entertainer say, if you don't like me, then guess what? I'm going to become the most unliked motherfucker on earth then. It's that kind of thinking that was the downfall of Ja Rule. Because while 50 Cent was writing hit songs, starting businesses and making millions, only occasionally dissing Ja Rule. Ja was making entire albums of petty, whack-ass hit songs that only really functioned to put down his office. This did nothing to delight his fans, and in my opinion, I think that time would have all been better spent just making Ja hits. Fortunately, at the end of this Vibe article, we do at least get the early indications that Ja Rule is indeed willing to put his beef behind him, saying that he's recorded numerous songs, none of which are ultimately concluding he is indeed ready to put down the sword on this beef, but him and 50 will never be put. And soon, the pop Ja Rule comeback is comeback radio hit, the track Wonderful with R. Kelly and Sean. This track gets on Billboard and had many people saying Ja Rule wasn't too bad. But Ja just couldn't help himself with it. In spite of everything that he'd learned from that single going number 5, about the difference between a street hit and a radio hit, and in spite of how bad things had gone the previous year with Blood in My Eye, Ja Rule truly liked Tony Montana, poked up and running into a hail of bullets. Refused to let this beat die, and instead of grabbing onto this final opportunity to be successful in the commercial rap game, decided instead to drag his career right back to the bottom of the barrel, dropping another single, Sneak This in 50. On October 2004, Ja Rule dropped his track New York alongside Fat Joe and Jada. This saw Ja subliminally going at 50, once again throwing out the same tired old lines about him being a snitch who wears a wine. Now after this, 50 Cent saw Fat Joe and Jada kissing straight on top. Due to their close proximity with Ja Rule, kicking off a royalty speed called Fat Joe that is actually too hilarious to even cram into this video. If you want to see me cover the 50 Cent Fat Joe beat in more detail, get in that Discord, baby. Story suggestions tab, let me know where you want them. Anyway, despite in my opinion being a complete step in the wrong direction, New York did become somewhat of a successful street hit. So with these two successful drops under his belt, for a moment it looked like Ja Rule might be back. And after these two big back-to-back W's, Ja ended up covering the Source magazine once again in November 2004, with a headline asking, is beef still on the menu? Maybe Ja was hinting that the beef with 50 might be back on, but meanwhile, there was one person who was definitely done beefing with Ja Rule, Eminem, who dropped a reflective track Like Toy Soldiers around this time. The song we've already discussed where Eminem outlined intentions to stop the Ja 50 beef from happening, but Eminem actually goes further in this song, essentially saying that he believes that he won the Ja Rule beef, but it wasn't worth it because it left him so exhausted, and he felt personally responsible for stoking it so far. Ultimately ending the song saying the beef isn't worth it, and it's over if everyone could just stop popping shots. But here, 50 Cent wasn't done popping shots to the earth. He goes on to drop his track Piggy Day, where he goes Ja Rule, Jada Kiss, and Fat Joe over the dishes on the New York track. He called Ja Tupac. He said people only like the song New York in New York and class acts local. And then in March 2005, 50 Cent covered Double XL magazine under the very spicy headline, 50 Cent cuts down the odds. In this interview, 50 Cent rather hilariously offered to sign Ja Rule once he'd done Murder Inc., offering to rebuild him after he had seemingly been destroyed. Now, all the kicking Ja Rule while he was down, to be fair to the guy, he was kind of due a W. So eventually, after years of waiting, Murder Inc. finally went to trial and miraculously beat the RICO case against them after spending what was reportedly a whopping $10 million. Once the sun settled on this in April 2006, Ja Rule dropped his response song 21 Guns. This seems to be an attempt to reignite the 50 Cent beef in order to hide a potential comeback album. And this track included some frankly pretty dope tracks about 50 Cent wearing his bulletproof vest on the condo. But elsewhere, of course, it had the same tired old lines called 50 and Snitch, again, calling G-Unit Gay Unit, again. In fact, on this track, Ja Rule also accused 50 Cent of being gay because of his fashion sense, which to be fair was an accusation that 50 Cent got by the bucket load after this very sus intro. Now, this is actually an outfit I recently roasted over on the second channel in a video I did on the worst fashion history, 50 Cent sleeveless dress shirt. Oh god, that is awful. That is straight up awful. 50 Cent's on that Incredible Hulk shit, fucking breakaway sleeves. This is the guy who was making fun of the game for being a stripper. Meanwhile, he's out here with breakaway sleeves like he's a fucking stripper grab. He's about to run up in the Shady Records office, pull those sleeves off, and start crusting thanks to fucking deal. So go check that out and subscribe to my second channel, Track More Drops, if you want to see more unscripted fire from this boy. Anywho, 50 Cent didn't rise to the diss at this point, and without any more fuel being added to the fire, Ja Rule was pretty much finished. He didn't end up dropping an album at all in 2006, and Body soon fell back from the rap game too after a disappointing return. After the trial, he tried to rebrand Murder Inc. as simply The Inc., and with such a track rebranding, it's no surprise that he didn't really take off there. Then, after the fall of The Inc., Ja Rule started his own label called the Empire Music Group. The label appears to be as good at grammar as they are at releasing records. Ja Rule's efforts to release his new singles through this label ended in disaster. His tracks Uh-Oh with Lil Wayne and Body both ended up flopping, only reaching number 69 and 72 on Billboard's R&B charts, respectively. And the track Uh-Oh was particularly mocked by 50 Cent in hilarious fashion.
Ja Rule, Lil Wayne right here. They know what's coming. They know what's coming. They know what's coming.
From here, the years that follow though, were very unkind to Ja Rule. After that poor start, things went from bad to worse, as many of the tracks that he recorded for his upcoming album The Mirror ended up leaking. So in 2008, he dropped a bunch of those leaked tracks on a mixtape called Atkins Styles Volume 1, which to me sounds more like a diaphragm mixtape. And then when the leaks continued, by 2009, Ja just said fuck it, abandoning his The Mirror project as a full-blown album, instead just chucking it out with a free mixtape. That didn't end up making too much noise, and after this long line of L after L, Ja Rule decided finally to take a break from music, and he didn't end up releasing anything else until 2011. Essentially, Ja Rule was tapped out of the game after being strangled so hard on diss tracks by 50 Cent and Eminem. It's not just what they said on the tracks. It was that sentiment in rap had shifted far away from Ja Rule to those people hating on Ja. And it's really here that the all-out war between 50 Cent and Ja Rule was over. But with plenty of bitterness and hate still going strong between these two old foes, at this point this beef shifted into a cold war, with these two artists spending the next 10 years constantly taking jabs at each other on social media. Once the sparks stopped flying between these two mortal enemies on records, the disses still continued online. And unfortunately, even though the beef itself had wound down, that didn't stop Ja Rule from continually catching L's. Ja Rule truly hit rock bottom at the end of 2010 when he got sentenced to 2 years in jail for gun possession and tax evasion. Remember that Maybach that Ja Rule bragged about keeping his gun in? Yeah, well the cops found it, seemingly exactly where he said he was hiding it to. So Ja pled guilty to the charges and ended up getting 2 years in jail. Of course, 50 Cent was first in line to clown Ja Rule on Twitter once reports of his jail time emerged, with 50 saying that he's got Ja when he comes home. Lol, and then offering help to anybody who knocks out and violates Ja Rule jail. Ja Rule clapped back at 50's disrespect, telling him to shut up or smash him again. Then bizarrely suggesting that he will tell the world's 50's secret, hashtag dildo big, which, yeah. Ja later came out saying that he was ashamed of this insulting for exchange, ultimately concluding after this that the beef was over and you don't need to be at war with someone forever. Saying that going forward they can coexist peacefully and that he has no interest in dragging this beef out. Something that Ja Rule elaborated on in their detail in this on-camera interview.
With the 50 Cent beef, you've addressed it numerous
50
times.
Cent beef, we ain't talking about no more vegetarian.
Would you do anything differently?
No. No, because I didn't do anything wrong.
Will there ever be a resolution to that, you think?
Yeah, it's resolved now.
Okay.
I'm cool. I ain't beefing no more. I'm vegetarian.
I couldn't believe that he was still engaging me. Like, nigga, you still beefing with me, nigga? You still want to beef with me, nigga? Like, I'm done with that, nigga.
So in 2012, Ja Rule heads off to prison, a humbled man ready to do his time. And eventually, when he gets out in September 2013, he hops along with Irv Gotti on an interview with Angie Martinez. Seemingly with a much more positive demeanour, Ja Rule and Irv Gotti were finally comfortable enough to have a somewhat honest conversation about the fall of their empire, where they both acknowledged the role that 50 Cent played in the downfall of their businesses, and Ja even was able to admit that he had taken the L in the 50 Cent beat.
We was in my office, me and Rule, right? We in the office, and Flex was about to play In the Club, right? So Flex plays In the Club. That record was so dope. I looked at Rule, like I looked at Rule and said, yo, have a major problem.
You could say now, you could say, in hindsight, you could say, yes. We took the L there.
Yeah, we took the L, but listen, yeah, we took the L. We took the L, but you know what? People take L's. It's not the L, it's what you do, and if you keep swinging and keep fighting.
He was a part of the juggernauts at that moment. Eminem, Dre. They're very, very big in what they were doing as well. So as we were big over on our side, they were also big on our side, on their side. And as everything started to crumble for us, as far as we didn't have a label as a home anymore. You understand? There was a lot of things that were falling apart for us. It was easy for him to get people to turn on.
Bulldoze.
Right.
A couple of months after this interview, the unthinkable happened. For the first time in over a decade since this beef begun, 50 Cent and Ja Rule ended up in the same place together on a plane. And what do you know, this event was able to go down without the entire flight descending into a mass fall. Ja Rule even tweeted that they were on the same row as the plane, no problem. However, the story wasn't the same when we heard it from petty old Stockton Cent, who appeared in an interview with Sway, suggesting that Ja Rule was nervous on that plane and 50 Cent started walking around the cabin and making him uncomfortable.
See, then I sat down and kept getting up and moving around. And it's making me uncomfortable because I knew that he was by himself. He was like, hey,
Ja Rule, however, rebuffed this version of events at the Black TV interview, saying that 50 can say whatever he wants, because Ja was catching some news at the time.
You know what I'm saying? So he sees me, I see
Another
him.
one
He
bites
looks
the
at me, he's
dust.
like, what up? I'm like, all right, what up? Go back to doing what I'm doing. Playing guitar. Propped up my pillow, you know what I'm saying? Took me a nap. You know, I kept getting up there, walking around, making nervous, and all this crazy shit. I'm laughing. I'm like, you know what? It may be true. I don't know. I'm asleep. Like, he may have been getting up with me. I don't know. I was catching some zines at the moment. You know what I'm saying?
Following this, in 2014, 50 Cent appears at Top 97's Summer Jam Festival, where he performs his classic Ja Rule diss track, Ice Breakfast. After this, Ja starts feeling some type of way and ends up going off at 50 on Twitter, dragging out the usual pie jokes about 50 getting shot. And in response, 50 Cent clapped back on Big Boy once again, saying that he thought Ja Rule was dead.
That's great. I mean, he's dead. I thought it Man, you mean the guy back in the day?
Then, for a brief moment in 2015, it looked like Ja Rule and 50 Cent could finally agree on something. When during Meek Mill and Drake's explosive beef, apparently Ja and 50 Cent agreed with the prevailing sentiment on Twitter that beef was nowhere near as good as their beef. Ja tweeted it's not a real beef until somebody gets shot or stabbed, and later asked in an Instagram caption which one of them is supposed to be him, Meek or Drake, because he sold 30 million records. Meanwhile, 50 Cent threw up a caption suggesting that Drake had copied his style with the back-to-back diss tracks. After that, both Earth and Ja ended up on the Breakfast Club, discussing 50 Cent and Eminem, where Ja suggests that he's good with everyone now.
I've never seen the industry turn on a person who really turned on it. It seemed like everybody had something to say. The Buster. You still have those old beats?
Nah, I'm good with everybody. I'm like, oh.
So, keeping it moving, later in 2016, Ja Rule ends up doing a Foot Locker commercial that is pretty embarrassing, to be honest. He basically started himself like washed up for working as an Uber driver.
You know, fellas, you can't take sustained greatness like that for granted. It's so hard to achieve. Once you find greatness, you hold on to it. Man, you lose just like that. 1 minute you're on top of the world. The next, it's all different. It's all different.
Yeah, you know, just up here on the right. Naturally, 50 Cent claimed Ja Rule heavy for this on Instagram. I'll be honest, genuinely, I don't know why Ja Rule actually accepted such a shit rock. I mean, they literally just made him look like such a bastard. Not that there's anything wrong with driving Ubers, but Ja Rule should have known how to do it. Anyway, it soon became very clear where Ja Rule was spending his surge pricing earnings from driving Ubers, as in 2017 we saw him YOLOing his life savings into Fire Festival with disastrous results. Once the Fire Festival was done unraveling publicly, 50 Cent took to Twitter to clown Ja Rule with a savage posting to defeat Donald Trump appointing Ja Rule as Secretary of Festivals with a caption saying, "Can't do nothing right, lol." After that, in 2018, when 50 Cent was on a press run for a movie, he was interviewed alongside Ja Rule's son. He said that when he was a kid, the beef with 50 Cent had him throw Ja Rule's CDs out the window.
I told 50 when I met him, I like Ja Rule. I was so high. You know, I was into it. He came out. Do the CD right out my grandma's room.
And then 50 Cent said he put Ja Rule career to sleep.
In 2018, if you've seen Ja Rule, it's not like some on-site type shit, right?
Ja quickly cuts back on Twitter calling 50 a pussy, reminding fans that he's been sad. I think they get it at this point, and dissing Ice Cube's son, saying that 50 is his son. And then Ja Rule got on his Millhouse shit saying that he owns 50 Cent's soul, which is ironic, without Ja Rule being like 50 Cent down payment on the used Kia song. Ja Rule threatened to expose Dildo Dick once again, this time with a new hashtag #50. Then he called 50 Cent trash, saying that he had one album, but of course it's not a Ja Rule Twitter storm if he doesn't bring up the ultimate for protection and call 50 Cent a big man. Now, one person we didn't expect pretty much dissing where Eminem took aim at Ja Rule once again, reminding everybody that he shut down Ja Rule's career with diss tracks back in the day. This once again prompted Ja Rule to clap back on Twitter, saying those nasty lyrics he dropped about Haley back in the day are still hitting home. But despite that, in September 2018, when Ja Rule appeared on Breakfast, he drunkenly reminisced on the 50 Cent beef with, say, slightly more positive outlook.
I don't have no issues with him either.
Like currently.
I don't beef with him. I don't give a fuck what he does. I don't even give a fuck what I do. We're 2 kids from fucking Queens. And this is not.
pictures of mocking 50 for a recent movie role where he had to lose a bunch of weight, as well as sharing another picture seemingly depicting a female version of 50, claiming that 50 Cent was running a from a blockchain after his previous roasting. But more else on the horizon for Ja Rule overall. In April 2019, it emerged that Ja Rule apparently owed a whopping $2 million unpaid taxes, prompting 50 Cent to record a hilarious live reaction to the news we heard in his car.
I'm sorry, 2006, 2007, and 2008. I'm sure that they're yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of money that's also fees, but you know, they charge you a lot.
What does 50 Cent think about it?
You gotta pay your taxes, man. He gotta pay his taxes, man. Oh my goodness, y'all make the nigga broke, man.
From here, 50 Cent ended up recording so many reaction videos to Ja Rule taking L's, he might as well have changed his name to Floppy Crates. Because in July 2019, Ja Rule and Herb Gotti are filmed being thrown out of the nightclub, with 50 reacting to the footage in hilarious fashion.
Calm down! Calm down! That's okay. Accent, good night. Oh shit! Meanwhile, back in Saudi Arabia. Yo, somebody hold my shirt. You want somebody to hold you back in this dog? Let me take my shirt off, because I'm going to do nothing. Fuck this, I'm going to do a lot of nothing. Exclusive footage of nothing. Nigga doing nothing. Y'all niggas want smoke? New exclusive footage of nothing. Niggas doing nothing. I'm thinking I think you're ready to do something. Oh, hold my shirt.
Ja clapped back sharing a video of 50 Cent with a pretty square head and the caption Herman Monster Head Ass Nigel, #HeadMurphy. And then, in August 2019, we got what was probably one of the most hilarious rap beef memes in history, as 50 Cent drops an IG caption clowning Ja Rule for saying tickets to his shows for 60 bucks a pop, with a follow-up comment saying that he just bought 200 in the front row so they could be empty. Now, 50 didn't actually do this, but the idea of him doing it quickly became a meme. And after that, we got the iconic Photoshop picture of 50 Cent sitting in the empty front row. And an incredible caption. What a show! I mean, it's fucking great. Do it again. My kid went to the rep room long, clearly not seeing the funny side after this Ja Rule transaction, calling him a pathological liar and offering a reward to anybody with proof that 50 Cent actually bought front row tickets to his show. It kind of missed a meme there, Ja. Time later, Ja Rule trolling 50 Cent over his relationship with Super Rat 69, following that up a month later on a talk show, saying he's dropping back from the beef situation before pulling a full 360, ditching 50 Cent for being a bad dad, and saying that he is in the beef forever.
50 Cent really does watch the show. Did you think of anything that you would like to say to him?
Yeah, you know, here's the thing, right? We've been having this ongoing feud now for like, I don't know, it seems like 15 years, like that. And I think it's time that we've gone past it. I am removing myself from the circus.
Say 3 nice things about 50 Cent, and I want to move on.
He's a bad father. He has a big square like box head. And one more thing, what else did I say? Oh, he looks like his breath stinks. Oh, we're sworn enemies.
I actually was like, oh wow, a few days later, 50 Cent came out on IG to say that he was so scared of Ja Rule, he's gonna flee to Texas.
I'm so afraid of Ja Rule, Kim Jones, and Freaky that I'm hiding out in Texas. Please, whatever you do, don't tell him I'm in San Antonio. Don't tell him I'm staying at the Four Seasons. Don't tell him, please, just don't tell him, because there's so much pressure on me right now. I'm afraid. Don't tell him I'm in Texas.
Now, Ja Rule's next diss towards 50 ended up occurring under probably the most strange circumstances possible. So around this time, there was a Popeye's chicken sandwich that was launched, which was apparently so viral, somebody got murdered for cutting in line to get the sandwich. This prompted Ja Rule to lash out on Twitter, saying that he would never eat a Popeye's chicken sandwich. Now, this strange decision to start this with a sandwich quickly led to Ja Rule getting guilty clowned on Twitter, with many fans bringing up his devastating health and boxing. got stabbed. In John's defense, he actually took the rest of this ribbon quite lightly and ended his Twitter storm with some pretty good jokes. First off, saying that he's got to jump back in his Uber and get to work, and then agreeing with the fans who were siding with 50 Cent, saying, yeah, fuck Ja Rule too. See, now that's more like Ja. This beef was revived again in April 2020 when the trend of versus battles took off, as Ja Rule chimed in on a conversation between Fat Joe and Swizz Beatz, with the implication that he was down to do a versus battle against 50.
Man, that'll break the internet, Ja.
Yes, it will. It'll break the internet. A bad way. It's gonna be fucking broke for real.
Later, in response to a discussion of this musical battle, Ja Rule also tweeted that he thinks that he musically influenced 50 Cent. But 50 Cent clearly wasn't down for a battle unless it was going mean for me, swiftly clowning Ja Rule on Twitter with a picture of a homeless Ja Rule and a cardboard sign saying that he will battle 50 Cent for attention. This led Ja Rule to clap back savagely on Twitter and Instagram with a clip of a rat and a long-ass caption calling out 50 for being scary and a snitch, as well as sharing paperwork that seemed to suggest that 50 Cent was an informant. Now, for the record, TMZ later came out to say that that paperwork's fake, but none of that matters because it was in June 2020 that things came full circle. First off, Ja Rule shared a clip of him performing at a fairly intimate private party surrounded by stunning beauties. Now, really, this was just a promotional post for Ja Rule's talent booking at Icon, with the implication that this show had been booked through Icon. And don't get it twisted, Icon's about to be the next GameStop, baby. Anyway, regardless of what was really going on in that clip, 50 chimed in to mock Ja, retweeting the clip with the caption, "If you don't want to end up doing private parties for 15 people, stay out of my way." And then after that, Ja Rule goes viral for this incredible commercial that he did for a gyro flogging Greek restaurant.
It make you want to slap your mama.
My Christo's got the best gyros. You have ate your life so good that when it thinks of you got to have Peters. My Christo Peters.
They got everything. I'll just give you a rundown of some of my favorites. They got tzatziki. Hold on. Octopi skin. Well, it's good. Albano soup. Pizza. And they got wine too. I'm telling you, come on down to Papa Cristo. You can't even pronounce the food. It's so good.
Now, for the record, Ja Rule did this out as a freebie. He was trying to help out a local LA restaurant that was suffering due to the coronavirus shutdown. And this was actually all part of a TV show that Ja Rule was putting together at the time, where he used his celebrity to help out failing businesses. And I've got to say, actually, it was pretty good.
Through a tough time right now, especially mom and pop shops.
I'll be back on later.
Out to these businesses. So today, I'm helping out Papa Cristo. The spot's been around for 70 years. It's a staple in the community in Los Angeles. But like most of mom and pop shops in this year, he's had a tough year. So I'm going to use my notoriety, my